Hello everyone, I'm Margaret from Popbrand and welcome to Blender Bits. I'm assuming you guys downloaded the free scene right now, and I just opened it up. And before we get nitty gritty on this bad boy, we are going to have some things checked off. So let's head on over to Edit, Preferences, go to Input, and then make sure that your emulate number pad or numpad is on. And then we're gonna, since we want to be adding some logos in, type in image and make sure that your import, export, import images as planes is selected. And then your material library is selected. Okay, now that's finished. You should be able to, in this object mode on the left side, we'll be clicking around a lot. So here is where we'll be navigating, selecting things, and like viewing what it is, what it's like. Alright, so click that 0. And you could see that that goes into your camera view. And that is the position that it'll be rendering out of. Okay, so I like zooming out just so that we could see the whole set. I'm just going to refer to this as a digital set. Of course, if you're new and you can't pan just yet, there's other options to do that. When you zoom out, you can move this by hovering over that hand, or hit Shift and then click your middle mouse clicker. And that's how you kind of navigate. Okay, or just click 0 and you're back in view. Okay, so to your right at the top here, you could see that these are going to be changing your colors. It does get a little complicated, but you don't have to be scared. I'm here with you. Below that, we're gonna go and click on the viewport shading. Here, it might take some time because it's calculating everything. You'll see that there we go. All your colors and all your fonts are there. All right, so we are gonna change up the colors, I think, because it definitely changes the look and the vibe of the set. All right. Oh, another thing. If you have this kind of, you see these lines, go ahead and click Show Overlays and unclick that, just so that you could see what it would look like and without having all that stuff in the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and click your back wall. Let's start there. I think that would be good. So what you want to do to select different colors is go to your base color, click on that guy, and then change it up. We are going to go with pink because I like pink. Can never go wrong with pink. There's different ways to changing up colors, just like a math equation. We're just going to do it my way. Not really like a math equation because I suck at math. Okay, another way is to put your hex code in. So if you have anything saved, want to get that accurate color, you could import that. Or you could use the eyedropper tool. I'll show you guys how to use this maybe a bit later. Okay, so you could see that changes things a lot. You can make it blue, do whatever, but yeah, I think I'm liking this pink. That, maybe, a bit later. Anyway, you guys do what your hearts tell you to do, just because it's your scene now. I feel like that's too purple. And then turn that up, because that makes it a little bit more muted. Okay, I think I'm liking that. We're just gonna go with like a monotone scheme. Right, before I forget, yeah, so you want to click here, or you could click here, but I don't want to mess around with that. So we'll just click over here, and once it's highlighted in orange, you know that you've selected it, and I've labeled it as floor, as material. So you could see that that is yellow, a very muted yellow, but that's okay because we want to change up some tones, okay, to give it some depth. Okay, that pink's fine. Maybe a bit more pink. Alright, and then this. Okay, so do not be afraid. You are going to make it through this. Scroll in, and first thing we're going to change is under subsurface scattering. We'll change this bad boy up. So you get to play around with this. There's no right or wrong way. You just kind of do what you want, because this is your thing. This is your world you're creating. You can make it dark. See how that, ooh, that's very bumpy. I feel like it's too dark for me. Anyway, we'll go to diffuse BSDF. That kind of gives it a little bit more richness, I think. Could scroll here too. Just to see what you're doing. RGB. So this material I got from the material library. I'm actually using a thing called Lemon, and it kind of looks like a really textured wall to me, so I just use that. Definitely still learning procedural materials and textures, so once I get that down, I will be able to share it with you guys, I hope. One more thing. I don't know, it's looking too much like this guy. I feel like we should change that guy. Okay, and then on to our little box guy. So, not too bad, not a lot, you're okay. This is another node structure that I pulled out of their Blender's built-in library. We're gonna go ahead and change that color to something pink. Let's maybe go a little bit more dark. Oh, that mutes it out really bad. Okay. Okay. Maybe go back and change. See, there's a lot of fiddling when it comes to this. As you can see, there's no wrong or right way, but to me, I think that's fine. Okay, so all that's left is to change this body. Alright, so go ahead and click that box, and here you can see a lotion bottle is selected. And to see all the drop downs, wow, I totally missed the scene collection here. You could see that I have two bottles, like an example bottle and your bottle. We're gonna leave the year bottle for now. Let's just change the example bottle. Click that, go ahead, change the base color to whatever your heart's desire is. I do not want to break out into song. Okay, That is a nice pink, I think. This is going well with the monochrome. You could also change up the cat bottles. Like, yeah, you can make it whatever color you like. But I'm gonna stick with white just cause it just complements it well, I think. I modeled it after the Kevin Murphy bottle, lotion bottle, just because I thought those were so cute. But yeah, so we just changed the scheme, the color scheme of it. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. We are gonna change up the font on this guy. If we could get it selected. There we go. All right. Oh, another thing that I forgot to show you, man. You could also change this base cap too. And to do that, since there are no nodes, we're gonna go to that top little circle here, and you can see all the materials. So, right, it's changing just because we've changed everything. So you could see that it changes to the water or the lotion bottle color if we wanted. But I'm just gonna leave it white just because, you know, like I said before, looks good. Okay, so fonts. You can add type in Blender, which is really cool, and even extrude them and make them into a mesh, so like a solid block like this. Go ahead, scroll right in. If you click, I believe it's 1, it'll show you that front view scene that we want. Okay, so once you have that highlighted, on the very right under example bottle, click that arrow button so you can see. Once you tap that in, I've grouped them into this lotion bottle. So, right, since we have that, I selected it again, hit tab, and here you could start writing backspace. But I'm just gonna retype. You could type whatever. Blender bits. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. But change it up. Put your name on it. If you have like a client, put their name on it. Put their logo on it. Or maybe not, because that's their logo. Make your own. Okay. So you could tab out of there and it'll lock it in. But you know what? Let me just change that again to like Margaret. No, capital Margaret. .r. And then tab. And now you can see my name. It's right there. You change everything on this guy. So go ahead, click that one. Zoom in with that mouse scroll. Click bounty. Click that tab. Backspace. Hello. Hello. Anyway, you get the point. You could change whatever. Right, fonts. We want to change up the font. Click tab so that it's highlighted and that you're out, so you're not just randomly doing random things. Okay, so the bottom of this tree, your materials tree, or scene collection tree, there are multiple options over here. Scroll down to that A, and that is where you can change your type. So you can change the shape, texture, geometry. before I lose you guys, we're just gonna focus on changing the font because I'm sure you guys want to do that. Scroll down to font and then click that folder. Then I have mine just going over here to the font folder and choose whatever. Today, what should we go with? Let's do see, and now it's changed. And then let's do hello and change that. As you could tell, they're very different, but this is just an example. Go ahead, play around with it, upload your favorite fonts or your label design that you're doing. Have fun with it. Alright, what else can I show you? If you're tabbed out and this is highlighted, you want to move it, right? Yeah, you want to move it. Okay. So, to move things in Blender, just hit G, and then with your mouse, scroll anywhere on your bottle and add in, or just free ball wherever you want to put hello. But right now, I'm just going to leave it here. Maybe move it and align it here. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, I tabbed in again. Okay, so we are gonna put a logo on this new bottle. I just selected your bottle, if you hide that, and then that was our previous one. But we want it without the whole indent. So here's how we put that in. Actually, we want to go in perspective, just because. Let's go Shift A and scroll down to image as planes, then have your logo file ready. Then import. Make sure that it is in PNG. And then go 7 because we want to see how close this is. GY. Bring it out a bit. But not too far. And then hit 1. G to move it. S to scale it down. Yeah. And now that it's looking good, this is gonna work as a decal. So what we wanna do is select that, then go to your gear icon, add modifier, scroll down to deform shrink wrap. And then once that's selected, click that eyedrop tool, hit this face, and it should look like this. But we gotta offset it. So go 0.001. There we go. And here, you could see that your logo's there. Yay. Okay. Let's go check out our lighting. I won't talk about this too much just because we do have it set up. Let's just see what our lights are doing. So, I am not a photographer, but I am learning a lot from referencing images on product photos from Pinterest, Instagram accounts that I really like, and just seeing like what the shape of the shadow is, just so that I could alter the lighting. So this big area light, if you click that, go to the right, you could scroll down here to this light icon. You don't need to select the preview, but you could see that I've hit the area. You could change it to spot. That doesn't really do anything. Sun, it really makes it real bright. And then point. We're going to make it stick to area. You could see that it's lighting up that side of the bottle pretty evenly. What else we got? This is another area light, but I believe, yeah, so actually let's go back to that big one. You could change the watt here or how bright it gets. You could do like, let's do 400 for the sake of it, or 4,000. And that gets pretty bright. Hey, actually that looks pretty good. I kind of like that. I might leave that there. I might just go 35. Yeah, play around with these. And that line kind of shows where it's directing the light to. And you could also change it. I made this guy really thin just to give that like a highlight. I think it's cute. I'm gonna say cute a lot. You could also rotate your lights, so hit R like we do with anything on here. And you could kind of see it change. And then escape to exit out. So we got that light, and then we got the sunlight. And this is real bright. But we have it to 15. And I made it, I think I made it close so that this shadow is sharp enough. But you could experiment and just see. So that's the strength controls the brightness, and then angle controls where the sunlight is going to go. So you can kind of see the hit's different. So you could play around with the shadows. But I think I liked it at that, was it 5? Yeah, play around with that. Rendering. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is, since we have 2 bottles here and we only want to render out the logo and this bottle, we want to go ahead and disable this guy. So right click and then visibility, disable and render, and that should hide the other bottle. Okay, so from there we want to check that your render properties are in Eevee, and then I think if it's all looking like mine, I think you'll be fine. And then below that camera, under dimensions, we have it set to 1500 pixels, and I think that should be fine. I optimized it so that it's for Instagram sharing. And then under output, you could also change where you want your image to be saved. And then of course, we'll just have it set to PNG, but there's other options that you can export it to. And then I hit under metadata, burn into image. Okay, now that that's all set up, we are going to click render image. And this might take a moment. Okay, so that is on there. What you want to do is save as, and then name your file. Put it desktop. Pink. And that is saved. found that the previous render had some metadata on the corners. So if you zoom in, this bad boy has those timestamps, and obviously we don't want that on Instagram on our post. So what I did to remove it, see, you can see here that there isn't any, is instead of burning it onto image, just deselect all these guys. I think the date, render time, whatever that was preset to, just deselect all of them and then hit render. And that should give you one without those stamps. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and following along. I hope you learned a lot of things about Blender, making it a little less scary to learn 3D. I'd love to hear feedback from you all. Feel free to message me on Instagram. Yeah, hope to make more of these, and until then, I'll see you guys next time.